Welcome to Gray Overload. I'm Anthony, and today AMD announced their Ryzen 5000 series CPUs. Announcement of the AMD Ryzen 5000 series processors. This is based on their Zen 3 architecture. A lot of improvements that AMD has. We got the first block of this month from AMD's announcements. The second one being a second event later in the month with their graphics cards, and we kind of start to see what AMD is putting together and how they're going to attack both Intel and Nvidia going forward. And while they did mention a little bit about the Navi 2X or Navi 2 or Big Navi as people are calling it here, the 6000 series graphics card that they will be coming out with later this month. This event was focused on their Zen 3. It was a very short event overall, about 30 minutes, someplace in there. And they had very little announced. I liked it. It was short, to the point, and let's wait for the reviews and see what they really stack up with. And all of AMD's numbers here that I'll go through, just preference it here that they are AMD's numbers. And until, we got more reviews out to see what really happens, just take it with a grain of salt and see if it adds up. Now, if AMD, I hope AMD is learning kind of, you take, maybe worst case scenarios and you put those forward, maybe throw a few best case scenarios in there, but really focus on, under promise and over deliver. I think that's a big thing going forward. So let's take a look at this press announcement here. And AMD went through multiple different things in their announcement here. We got, between Zen 1, Zen 2, and Zen 3, how they kind of improved over time. They kind of mentioned that, and they also said with this announcement of processors that you have up to a 26% uplift in gaming performance from generation to generation, a 19% uplift in IPC, instructions per clock cycle, in this generation over last Zen 2 generation. So there's a lot that AMD put in here to really show off that this is going to be the top dog processor. And in November 5th, we get to purchase these and see where they are. Now, the power efficiency, they also talked about how they improved the power efficiency a little bit more this round, and that's one goal that they have. Each iteration of this is to improve power efficiency and improve performance of that. So we may be looking at processors here that are the best gaming processors out there. I'm going to wait for reviews to really see where this adds up, but overall, it was still fairly close already, and this is just taking it over top. They made some adjustments with the CCX, so their chiplet design, and they have now a unified cache for 8 cores instead of a split cache for 8 cores. So this can actually help and improve it there with 32 megs of cache on 8 cores, 36 megs total on the 8 cores, 72 on the 16 core. You can get a lot of data into that cache, which helps the processor. It's super fast, so they can fetch that data that they need quite easily. Now, AMD put here that they're delivering up 2.8x more performance per watt versus the competition, and that's a test that somebody's going to have to go through. I kind of glanced at some of the cautionary statements, the fine print, but I haven't gone through it with a fine-tuned comb yet. I kind of wanted to get this video out there because I like what I see in some aspects, but I really want to tell you what's bothering me here. And you can see I got a couple tabs open, and hopefully we can actually look at those as well. But from a top-down perspective on this 5000 series stacks, we have the R9 5950X, 16-core, 32 threads, 105 watts, up to 4.9 gigahertz boost, 3.4 gigahertz base frequency. You got no cooler with this, and it's $799. And I will touch on the price here a little bit later, but ouch. Prices seem to have gone up. The Ryzen 9 5900X, 12-core, 24-thread, they really kind of focus this in the presentation as their top or as their high-performance processor. Really, if you're going to jump up to that $799, if you want that, that's something that I would like to have, but I use 16 cores a lot with my 1950X, and these are just way better than the 1950X now. But that 5900X is 12 cores and 24 threads, up to 4.8 boost and 3.7 gigahertz base, 70 megs of cache, so a little bit lower cache, but you're disabling 4 cores, whoops, my bad. And that's going to be $549. Then you have the 5800X, 8 core, 16 threads, at 4.7 gigahertz boost, 3.8 base, 36 megs of cache at 449. And then you got the 5600, 6 core, 12 threads, 65 watts, 4.6 gigahertz boost, 3.7 base, 35 megs of cache. This comes with the Wraith Stealth cooler at $300. All of these are available on the 5th expected delivery date. We have no non-XQs in this release. Now, that could be that AMD's yields are just amazing, and that's what they're going to come up with, and they're waiting for to have more in the non-XQs. But I do expect at some point to get non-XQs. It's just people are going to be wanting to look at those as well, and I can see AMD going down that right, especially having a 12 core at 65 watts is a very attractive processor for people that want lower power and still have all those cores, and what I'm guessing is going to be pretty dang good at performance overall. So they did the 12 core AMD, and they tested on the best gaming experience by an average of 7% in 1080p across selected tiles against competition. 20% faster than titles generationally. So if you have a 3800X, or let's do the 3900X to the 5900X, you can expect 20% on average 26% faster in games. And they did kind of go through some of these, and they had slides, and I don't necessarily have all those slides in front of me. They did have, I guess there is game bundles as well. Oh, I didn't even see this. So the next chapter of Far Cry series, Far Cry 6, customers who purchase an AMD Ryzen 5950X, 5900, 5800 between November 5th and the 31st will get a complimentary copy of Far Cry Standard PC Digital Edition when it releases. Okay, that's interesting. Additionally, if you buy an older 3000 series, it looks like you will do that. You get that as well. So that's just something to add on there. But the prices here are a little high. I want to mention this too: is the AMD 500 series motherboards will be need a BIOS update, and then you'll be able to jump and get and put in one of these new CPUs. The prices went up, and I am not pleased about the pricing going up. I thought AMD needed to drop their number scheme, slot the 12 core in as that Ryzen 7, drop the 8 core into that Ryzen 5 series, and make the Ryzen 9 the 5950X. Make the Ryzen 9, I think there should be only one Ryzen 9 SKU, and maybe a non-X SKU to make it two. Make those the 5900 and the 5900X, the 16 core 32 thread, and then have the Ryzen 7 5800 be your 12 core, and then you could even do the make the Ryzen 7. Yeah, I almost think you need to have the Ryzen 5 in the 8 core. Push the 6 core down. Let's progress gaming and processors in the right direction is my point of view. Where consoles are going, let's start making that the baseline. So your middle grade is your 8 cores, 16 thread processor. That's your Ryzen 5. That should be with the your consoles. So if I want a console equivalent, I'm getting that 8 core, and it's just slotting in there. Now I know that these are slightly different processors overall. This is a newer architecture than the consoles, but as people are thinking going forward, that's just what people kind of do and how they kind of look at it overall. So, and they will be comparing it on that as well, because that's just, you don't get all the architecture stuff in the consoles. But if we look at this, just take a look at these prices. Now, if we jump over to my next tab, so let's take the 5900 versus the 3900X. They're both X's, right? We got 549 versus this one, which is 3900 XT. So this is $500. So they did a $50 increase. Then we have the 3800 XT, which was $399, and then we had 250. So $399 and 250, right, for these two, for the 38 and 36. So then we hop back here, and now we're at 550 or 450, and then we're at $300. That's getting a little rich, I think, for both of them. I mean, the 3800 XT to the 1500 XT, that's a $50 jump there as well. I I don't like this at all. I know there's not much competition, so guess what AMD gets to do is raise prices. I mean, even if you were to go back to here, what is this? So this is the original one. It was $499, $399 for the 3800, and these are the original launch prices of the 3800X. So that's $399 there, and your 6 core was $249. So they kind of slotted these in at the exact same price overall, and then $750 was the 16 core. Now everything is up $50. Yeah, AMD may have, and the results may be the best gaming processor out there. Yeah, they may have that, but is it worth the extra $50 for to push it in as you're going? You're still trying to get market share, still trying to be the dominant name. In AMD, you still don't have the mobile market. You're still working on servers, and you're jumping here, increasing the price. I do not like this at all. This price increase just seems, I mean, there's no competition, right? AMD can do it because there's no competition if these processors hold up to what AMD said. Yeah, it makes it difficult. Maybe Intel will have something next year, and that's a strong maybe. But these prices are just, I just can't get on board with these prices. I like the performance. Now, people said that the prices may increase here. AMD's looking for a higher margin, so increasing prices is a way to get higher margin, right? You do that or make the processors to begin with cheaper. And they chose this route. Now, I believe the 3000 series, Ryzen 3000 series, is going to stick around, so you have that aspect of it too. If you guys haven't figured out yet, AMD kind of skipped the 4000 series. Sorry I didn't mention that earlier, but they skipped that. So the 3, and then you have the 5. So I'm guessing that the 3000 series is going to stick around, and maybe they drop in price and fill those gaps where they need to be. And at some point, you're going to have the non-XQs, I believe, unless AMD's just can't get enough binning to even make it worth their while, right? That could be as well. So that's a little bit on this processor where I feel about it. They look like I'm going to wait for reviews, but according to AMD, they look like, hey, you want a gaming CPU that's going to be the best gaming CPU? Here you go. You want a whole bunch of thread counts too on the best process as of right now on the highest core counts and the fastest cores. Okay, you got AMD. Would I've liked to see a 5 gigahertz one? Yeah, I think it's just an accomplishment to say, hey, I hit 5 gigahertz, and then I hit that point up here. Okay, done. But 4.9 on that, 4.8. I think with their IPC increase, generation over generation, they are now ahead of Intel in that, and we'll see the test to see where they stand. I mean, Intel had a little blog post saying, hey, look at me, I'm still here. I didn't read it. I heard about it, but it wasn't worth me. I mean, tell me about products you're going to be releasing here soon, Intel. Not just not just being the squeaky wheel. I don't like the squeaky wheel. We put oil on it, put some grease on it, make it not squeak anymore. But a little mechanic stuff there. I've been working on my car, my SUV lately, so. But that's a little bit about the CPU. That's how I feel about it. Yeah, the performance is great. Price, $50 or more. I'm not liking it. Prices of things I like to see come down in technology, not go up over time. But we need competition for that. Now let's touch a little bit on Navi. Now they touched on Navi. Lisa Su showed a GPU. She showed some numbers, and she showed it at 4K Ultra. Yeah, which she didn't tell us which GPU it was. So let's just take it as their high-end GPU. Okay, if they price it right, this could be something worthwhile. I've listened to a lot of people today. I've thought about it. I don't know which way to go on it. It's hard for me to say, oh, this might be this might not be. They just didn't give enough information. It was a teaser that looks like it may not show up the way some rumors are having it. But if it's not what AMD really thought, and they price it, in a really good position, and it competes with the 3080, even in some games, and it's cheaper, well, I mean, where does that put it? I think that puts it as an attractive product. Now, if they price it the exact same and it loses to the 3080, well, then it's a horrible product. Why did AMD come out with it? I guess, I mean, they should have come out with a product anyways, but if they price it, the same price or higher and it doesn't beat the 3080, well, then why are people are just gonna wait for the 3080 or try to pick up that? Now, AMD should put a little bit more context in it, but I know that they're waiting for that event. I believe on the, what is it, 28th of October? Later this month in October. Let's put it that way. They'll tweet it out. Who knows? Things could change. And that's just where it's going from there. I just have some concerns. Will they show up for it? Who knows? I think that it's still going to be a good 4K gaming card if that's what you're looking for. That's what they kind of showed it as. And as a person that has a 4K monitor, has another 4K monitor that he's ordered, I would like to see that, to be able to play 4K on it. Now, is it something I'm going to go out and buy right away? I don't know. No, that's not, because I need more money for that. And, well, I had to fix a few other things around here first, and around the house, vehicles, washer dryer machines. So other things took priority. But if I had the money, I probably would get it to be able to test it out. So that's a little bit of my feelings about it. I have some questions. I think people are going to be looking into this now. There'll be some more leaks, some verification of what actually happened in the event, and over time I can form a better opinion than what happened today with no information. She showed a GPU. Is that the GPU that was running it? Or, is that same model that was running it, the high end with 3 fans? Or was it their lower end one? Who knows? This is the problem with only getting a thing of Borderlands, a frame rate per second, and the settings. You didn't know what processor that it was ran at, or anything like that, and you're expected to draw a conclusion and get people excited or not excited about it. And it's one thing where I think AMD should have just teased it a little bit more, or and not really gave us too many numbers. I'm thinking I would have went through and just said, hey, this is it. Here's a little bit about Navi, and I would just maybe ran a game through it. Maybe just showed off Borderlands, not really showed frame rates per second. Just leave it there, unless they're trying to play tricks up their sleeves. Now, AMD, I do think that you probably showed the best case scenarios. You shouldn't be doing that, or maybe you've done and you've learned and said, we're going to show just 3 games here. Some of these are, one is best case, one is not best case, and one is average. That's what I would do. Or I would even do 1 average and 2 worst case, just to make people look at it and say, and establish a thing of under promise, over deliver. Because if you over promise and under deliver, it gets people annoyed, and I don't like being annoyed. So, and it gets people upset too. And you don't want internet backlash on it, because it can really change things and change perceptions of things as well. So with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for taking the time to help support Gray Overload and helping this channel grow. I really appreciate it. I hopefully will have another video out tomorrow. I'm supposed to be getting my Surface back, and I got a story for you for that. Let me know if you guys want a little bit of a review of a washer dryer with Wi-Fi. I just bought a new washer dryer so that my wife and I can actually do laundry while I record, or when the kids are sleeping, or when I'm working down here. The other one was like a 747 taking off. And yeah, I have some other reviews coming too. There's a lot of stuff here that I'm trying to get out for you guys, and I promise that those reviews I promised you, they will be coming. I've just been working on them, the network and everything else. So I do thank you guys for watching and supporting this channel. I really appreciate it. It's been great with everything you guys do. Leave your comments below what you guys think about Big Navi, about these CPUs, if you like the price, performance, all that stuff as well. And until next time, God bless, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.